Thank you so much, everyone. May I quickly introduce you to the next session? This is going to be a special session which is being done by Birla Sun Life Insurance, changing dynamics of the employer-employee relationship. It's a very bright and new subject while it looks like, but there are the dynamics, the way it is changing, I think it's something for every one of us to learn in the recent times that has happened. May I request Mr. Varghese Chako, Head Strategy and Key Account Management, Third Party Division, Birla Sun Life, to kindly join us on the stage.
I'm finding a little uncomfortable here, being a finance guy, and in this massive nest of HR professionals. I don't know what to talk to you, while we love to talk about debt markets or equity markets or yuan, devalued, etc. You guys are talking about jobs, crazy. Well, it's interesting to be here. In one way, we are related to this employee concept. A year ago, in our company, we were looking at how do we participate in this massive progress and work being done by many organizations across the globe, across the country on these employees. And we have picked up a theme on employee spirit, celebrating the employee spirit. And I just wanted to take that into today's topic. And so far you were talking about picking up the right guys for the right jobs, etc., etc. Let me just move on a little further. I want to talk about, once you've found the right guy for the right job, how do you retain him? So is there a way of doing that? Is there something that we can do for you? And that's what, just one concept out of many that I want to leave with you, and that's where I wanted to take you for. Before which, let me just take you through this one statement of Andrew Carnegie. This gentleman, perhaps you must have heard, this is the guy who has lived in 18th or 19th century towards, and he's the one who has done the massive work in the American steel industry, and very well known, very highly enterprising gentleman. He is more known for one of his works, literature work, which is known as The Gospel According to Wealth. If you get to see that, you can see that online as well. This is where he's opened up the Pandora's box on philanthropy, which has become a fad even today. One of the great guys, very great industrialist. But see, what I liked about him is this one statement which shows the visionary of this man. Look at this statement. Take away my factories, my plants, take away my railroads, my ships, my transportation, take away my money, strip me of all of this, but leave me my men. And in 2 or 3 years, I will have all of them again. What a visionary it is, isn't it? This comes not in the 21st century. A century where human labor was not even, human resource was not even called as human resource. It was labor, not even labor. If you have, like me, if you love reading, you must have gone through these Victorian stories where if they wanted to unload something from the truck, they would call, give me some hands and legs. Give me 5 hands or 6 hands. Which means labor was called as just as some hands and legs. And in that era, there was a visionary who has this statement, the guts to say that this is the most precious resource, that you live with me and take away everything that I made. I will make them all back again in 2 and 3 years. Amazing, isn't it? That's the spirit of employees that we wanted to celebrate. How it is changed. When the economic recessions has happened, in olden days, there was employment for all your life. It was kind of a lifetime employment model. I remember my father getting retired from the Indian Postal Services, and he was heading one of the states in India. In those days, the whole of that department in that town, on the last day of his retirement, after that send-off function, etc., and photo taking, they came home with him. The entire department came home with him to, sort of getting back to home and to say good luck for his retirement. What a kind of celebration of employment that they had. But things have changed when the recession has hit in our shores, where companies have moved into hiring and firing mode, and the kind of free agent model that has emerged in the scene, where economic output became the core factor of employment. In that scenario that we would be looking out like this. The other day I saw somebody wearing this t-shirt. I work only for money. If you want loyalty, hire a dog. Or somebody would say, in your Friday t-shirt, you come and tell to the boss, stuff your job, I'm moving on. This has come to this free agent model, and that's where we are. How do we get these people stick with us, those whom we want to? There could be many ways of doing that. I just wanted to bring to you one from this table that we have from our company. Let me just tell you before that a quote from Vineet Nayar. I saw somebody from HCL Technologies here who he was heading earlier. Employee first, customer second. If you have not read that book, you must read that. It's a very interesting book. I'm sure as HR consultants you must have read it. And that's the spirit that we wanted to bring to you. Before which, let me just tell you a company called Netflix Inc. They have a very interesting test which is called Keeper Test. Now this Keeper Test is for those employees who are resigning and moving away. They apply this Keeper Test on them, whereby employees, with their matrix, they will decide whether this employee should be retained or not to be retained. If he has to be retained, the company go all out of retaining this particular person. Well, that's one way of retaining the employee. But the only thing is, from our experience, once it comes to that stage, the cost is increased already, because he's resigning because he has got another job and he has already got another hike and he's looking out, and if he wants to be retained, there should be much more cost than what it is. Is there a way of getting this guy retained even before that? There could be one, and that's what I wanted to present to you right now. This is called to insure to retain. An employer can look at investing on this employee in kind of insurance or investments that is possible, which can be assigned to this employee on a conditional basis. If you stay back with us, we will pass it on to you or assign to you after 2 years or 3 years. And that's called employer-employee insurance. And typically in one line, I'm closing with that. What's the benefit? Employee sees the investment building in his portfolio. And when it is assigned, it comes as a tax-free income at the end of maturity in his hands under Section 1010D of Insurance Act. And at the same time, employee, while investing, can write it off as expenses under business expenses under Section 37(1) of Indian Tax Act. A great way of retaining employees and showing them the path. I'm not saying this is the only way, but this is sure enough one of the very powerful ways that I have. I don't have time for case studies, so I'm not getting into it. Some companies right in Bangalore itself are some of our prestigious clients in this space, and we can talk to you in detail. I have my colleague from the venture capitalist, Enoch Venture Capitalist, who actually invited us here and introduced us to this forum, who would be able to help you out further on that. So this is an important thing that I wanted to leave with you. And before I leave with you, I just wanted to show you that one video that we want to play for you that is celebrating the spirit of employee.
Autism, it's a kind of development disorder. इसका कोई इलाज तो नहीं है, but कुछ improvement जरूर हो सकती है. आगे जाके special schools भी हैं, जहाँ पर एक बच्चे आशु बेटा, मम्मा, आशु के बारे में सुना, मैं कुछ मदद करूँ? Thank you, sir. आशु बेटा, खा लो. ऑमलेट. ठीक है बाबा, ऑमलेट.
तो आशु, स्कूल के लिए रेडी ना?
ऑमलेट. नो आशु, आइसक्रीम. कितना?
चॉकलेट.
आइसक्रीम. माँ, ये लाइट को क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ आशु?
रोहित का पार्टी था, आशु को नहीं बुलाया.
पता है, पापा का भी पार्टी था, पापा भी नहीं गया.
पापा नहीं गया.
पापा. आशु भी नहीं गया, पापा भी नहीं गया.
देखिए आशु स्मार्ट है, वो उससे फायदा जरूर होगा इस कोर्स का। हाँ, कोर्स थोड़ा महंगा है लेकिन
आप फॉर्म तैयार रखिए।
देखिए, पूरा यूनिट ही बंद हो रहा है, आप अपना अपना हिसाब कल आके कर लीजिए। अतुल।
हाँ सर।
आई एम रियली सॉरी।
माँ?
Late. Always late. Very late.
कल से लेट नहीं होगा बेटा, क्योंकि कल से आशु का नया स्कूल होगा और उसके पापा का नया बिजनेस। और कुछ
होनी को आप रोक नहीं सकते, पर होनी भी आपको कहां रोक सकेगी। अपनों को, अपने सपनों को करो सुरक्षित। बिरला सन लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, खुद को कर बुलंद।
That's the spirit we want to celebrate with you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Godspeed.
First, Mr. Reddy to kindly felicitate, Mr. Chako with a memento and a report. Speed employment in the age of technology. The new age recruitment and employment is to move with technology. People are moving fast to keep up the pace. Technology has to be supported and flexible to the changing environment as well. Be it the IT industry or e-commerce, the trends of recruitment have actually evolved. Are the teams evolving at the same speed? To keep up the changing environment, let's hear from the panel. May I request Mehul Shah, MD Collabera, ISL board member, to kindly be on the stage. He will be the chief session panel manager for this particular panel. We are glad to have Mr. Pravin Srivastava, Deputy Director from Directorate of General and Employment, Ministry of Labour, Delhi, from the Central Government of India. Mr. Sabu Thomas, Chief People Officer, Allstate Solutions. Shailesh Singh, Business Head RPO, Peoplestrong. And Vivek, Khanna, COO, First Advantage. May I request all of you to kindly join us on the stage.
Thank you very much, all of you, by coming here and encouraging all of us in whatever activity that we are doing. This session is interesting. When I was given this first subject, I thought we're talking about IT, and then I just immediately realized that yes, indeed we are talking about IT. However, we are trying to talk how are we going to use, the IT, the fast-paced IT, into our day-to-day work. So, just to let you know, I started recruitment, age-old recruitment, in 90s, when it was big 90s when I not that I'm that old, I just started early. So that time it was paper-based recruiting. I still remember, we used to fly people from here to US on H-1Bs. We used to carry those resumes, the printouts of the resumes, give it to the hiring manager in the US on the desk, that these are the resumes. Why? Because the candidates, the C++ developers or Java developers those days, they did not even have internet connection at home. There was a dial-up modem for which, not everybody had it. They had to go to cyber cafe and actually, print the resumes, look at the emails and print the resumes and give it to us. Those were the days. Look how things have evolved. I think now if you see the latest technologies, the IT is everywhere. The technologies are coming in. Talk about social media, analytics. Nowadays, big data, predictive analysis. IT is really going extremely fast. Now, as per that pace, the question is, are we in the recruitment staffing industry really catching up to the pace of IT? Because the world is changing so very fast, in IT. I mean, just to give you a couple of examples, I don't really have the data, but I have those live examples that happened with me due to IT. I could not imagine that I can actually open and close my garage door in the US, sitting from India over here. If my wife really forgot to switch off the light, I can actually switch it off from here. That's where IT is. That's where IT is, that's how fast it is. If I go to a departmental store and if I shop with them earlier, they actually know which color do I like, what's my size, what kind of clothes am I going to wear. That's the predictive analysis they have. So IT is really moving so very fast. And we are in a staffing industry, The analysis proves that 100% corporates, yes, 100% corporates actually are using IT tools in some way or the other to do their day-to-day work. Is it enough? That's the question. That's the question for the panel, and that's the discussion for the panel, that are our efforts enough to catch up to the pace of IT growth? Are we doing enough, and what kind of things that we are doing? And I tell you, some of the industry experts really are doing a lot of things. Some things have really worked for them, and that's where we want to really discuss today with this panel. What has worked, in terms of doing their recruitment and entire recruitment life cycle, to really match up to the pace, and how can we really speed up those things. A good thing is that so far the candidate, all the audience of the whole pyramid, the candidates, the corporates, the service providers, all these people were involved and they were trying to make things happen. Now, one of the biggest change that has happened in the country is that the government itself there is a lot of push from the government. There's a lot of interest. I would rather put it that there is a sense of ownership from the government now to use IT, introduce IT in the way the government is going to operate. And now with relation to our staffing industry also, the government has really come up with using IT platforms to really speed up our recruitment and speed up the employment and generate more employment and really have a faster turnaround time, for which government has also come up with a national career service portal, and for which I would like to invite I would like to actually play one of the videos that the government has just launched. I think the Modi government just did it, I think a few weeks back. I would like to play that video. If Chita, we can play that video for a while. And I think this is the first change, because as everybody says, we have to include the government in what we do, and I think here is the change which is definitely, I think, going to come as a revolution in what the corporates are doing, in what the candidates are looking for, in what the service providers are trying to do. I think if we have something like this, that's where the visibility comes from, that's where the speed comes from, and that's where it's one of the example how IT is enabling actually to speed up the pace. I would just like to have the video, please.
क्या हुआ? अरे ITI पास करके क्या फायदा? अब तक काम के लिए चक्कर काट रहा हूँ।
फैक्ट्री एक्सपांड कर रहा हूँ, मगर इतने सारे ट्रेड वर्कर कहाँ से लाऊं?
क्या कर रही हो? क्या हुआ?
पढ़ाई पूरी कर ली, अब कौन सा करियर चुनूं? किससे पूछूं?
अच्छी काउंसलिंग करियर को ऊंचाइयों पर ले जा सकती है, मगर कोई सलाह ले तब तो।
2 महीने से ड्राइवर नहीं आया, वैसे तजुर्बे का ड्राइवर कहाँ से ले आऊं?
लोग कहते हैं ड्राइवर कभी घर पर नहीं बैठते, लेकिन मैं तो महीने भर से घर पे बैठा हूँ।
हर कोई ट्रेन बंदा रखता है, अब ट्रेनिंग के लिए कहाँ जाओ?
सही आदमी मिले तभी ट्रेनिंग देने का फायदा है, उन्हें भी और मुझे भी। एक दूसरे की पूरक जरूरतें, मगर दोनों के बीच कितना फासला, अब दोनों को जोड़े नेशनल करियर सर्विस। प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में सरकार द्वारा रोजगार सृजन, कौशल विकास और डिजिटलीकरण की दिशा में मेक इन इंडिया, स्किल इंडिया और डिजिटल इंडिया जैसे महत्वाकांक्षी कार्यक्रमों की शुरुआत की जा चुकी है और अब इन सबको जोड़े NCS यानी नेशनल करियर सर्विस, एक महत्वपूर्ण पहल जो राष्ट्र स्तर पर नौकरी खोजने वालों, नियोक्ताओं, प्रशिक्षण देने वालों तथा करियर सलाहकारों को एक सूत्र में बांधे। ये दे 3000 से अधिक रोजगार और करियर के विकल्प 53 से अधिक कार्य क्षेत्रों में और खोले अवसरों का नया क्षितिज, जहां NCS पोर्टल देगा नौकरी, प्रशिक्षण और करियर परामर्श की जानकारियां, वहीं करियर केंद्र देंगे युवाओं को प्रशिक्षण सुविधाओं की जानकारी और परामर्श। कॉल सेंटर मुहैया कराएंगे NCS पोर्टल पर पंजीकरण और अन्य बातों में तकनीकी सहायता। विशेषज्ञ सलाहकारों का नेटवर्क देगा करियर चुनाव में मार्गदर्शन तथा प्रशिक्षण की जानकारियां। इसके अलावा देश भर में फैले कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर पर हर इच्छुक नौकरी संबंधित जानकारी पाने के साथ कर सकता है आवेदन भी। NCS छूता है हर जिंदगी, मिस्त्री मैकेनिक से लेकर मैनेजर तक और अशिक्षित से लेकर शिक्षित पेशेवर तक, और ये इसे बनाता है देश का सबसे बड़ा रोजगार प्लेटफॉर्म। NCS जोड़े जरूरत को रोजगार से, दक्षता को आजीविका से और योग्यता को अवसर से।
So as they say, there is always a right match made for you, a better half made for you somewhere in the world. You just got to find that better half. Similarly, there is a job, there is a candidate available in this country, and I think these kind of IT enablers actually would actually make and increase our base. We got some distinguished guest speakers over here, who have actually used this technology and the platform to speed up their recruitment activities. I would just like to invite first of his kind, Director General of Employment, Mr. Pravin Srivastava. Please give him a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, colleagues and friends. What I had to say has already been shown in the film that you've just seen. The information asymmetry in the employment market is well known, well documented. I need not repeat it. But the fact still remains that you need to have a platform where people can communicate, meet. We have, through the National Career Service, tried to create this platform where training providers, employers, job seekers, counselors could all come on a common platform. Registration process is very easy, and I'll tell you, we have not done any publicity yet. It's only the dedication which was made to the nation on 20th of July. But you would not have seen any ad in the press. We were waiting for numbers to pile up. And today I'm proud to inform you that every day we are getting 40 to 45,000 new registrations on this portal. We have already reached, without any advertisement at all. So we are going to start targeted advertisement very shortly. But I want to take this opportunity to address this fora here, that here is a place where wherever you are, whatever entity you are, whether you are a training provider, a university, an academia, if you want interns, if you want apprentices, if you want skills, you have them. This is a platform to get. Please do take this opportunity, and this is an initiative of the government. We all talk about last mile employability, last mile connectivity, but the point is that they all have to connect somewhere. We have provided this platform is totally free of cost. So that's one USP. The other thing is that we are also tying up with some of the job portals which are existing, because getting jobs and getting skills, bringing jobs to people or people to jobs is always going to remain a challenge. And we all have to work in that direction. Whether it's providing skills just for numbers' sake or providing skills for requirements of the industry. The industry also has to take a step forward to project their demands. project the demands on a platform where you can get that demand met. So I don't want to say much. I'll just close it here and leave it to my other panelists to react and respond, get their initiatives. Thanks.
So that is one aspect, of how we are speeding up the employment. I think I would like to invite our next panelist, Shailesh, to know from him how he has used the technology and how the technology can be used to speed up the entire recruitment life cycle. Shailesh?
Sure, thanks Mehul, and good afternoon everyone. I think when we're trying to answer the question of how do we speed up the process of recruiting, it's very important for all of us to sort of have an understanding of where is it that the process really runs into lags. So when I thought of this topic, or when this topic was shared by ISF, I could bucket two large pieces. One is, how do you get the person for the job? And the second piece is about how do you take the person through the process. Wherever there are delays, they're broadly there in these two buckets. So essentially over the next 5 minutes, I'm going to talk about 4 things that we try to do differently at Peoplestrong, which enable us, recruit people in quick turnaround times. So the first point is really about, how do you build the visibility for the opportunities that exist for the people? And also, are you really clear about what is it that you want to recruit? So I'm personally a big fan of Indian epic stories, so I'd quote a very small one from Mahabharata, and I'm sure quite a few of you are aware of it. So when the war is about to break out, both Arjun and Duryodhan reach out to Krishna to get his support. Krishna obviously offers support first to Arjun because he says, I saw him first, even though Duryodhan landed there first. So essentially we may be reaching out to people, we may be reaching out to the candidate pool, but are the candidates really seeing us as an employer of choice? Are people really seeing what we have to offer them? I think that whole visibility of jobs is sort of has gone down in the last 4 or 5 years. We keep saying there's a war for talent, but we don't really see enough being done from organizations to really address or make it really look like a war for talent. If you look at the kind of advertisements that used to happen where organizations would publish their jobs, all that has gone down. If I am a job seeker, the only place I need to go to find a job is probably naukri.com these days. And the second part really is about what you want. So building on that story, Arjun was very clear that he wanted Krishna. And that makes life so much simpler for you as an employer because you're able to go out and really spell out what exactly is it that you're looking for from a person who's going to come into that organization and perform that job. So that's about one piece of bringing clarity and bringing visibility. The next piece is really about matchmaking, which is where Mehul mentioned about a lot of technology intervention that is needed because today essentially the matchmaking is a screening exercise which is done by a recruiter. How do we make that process more predictive? So there are technologies today which are available to match a job description to a candidate's resume and throw a result saying a candidate is a certain percentage fit for that kind of a job. So why would we leverage such technologies as talent acquisition professionals and move away from traditional models of a recruiter screening the profile basis his or her limited understanding of that job domain? I come from a staffing industry, but I have no shame in admitting that not every recruiter is equipped to understand 500 different job profiles. I mean, if we are expecting them to do that job, that's really an unfair expectation from the people who are recruited. So I think technology has a key role to play there when it comes to screening people and doing matchmaking. And the third part, which in my experience of having done recruitments for some very large customers that we service, is where the maximum time loss happens, which is in the process of getting an interview done within the organization. So there's a recruiter who's a talent acquisition professional, there's a candidate, and there's a hiring manager. There is a constant struggle for a recruiter to find time from both ends, and the amount of time that is spent in getting these two ends met to eventually get that conversation going and get that conclusive decision is huge. So why would we not look at, mobile-based apps where you give the hiring manager and the candidate a platform to interact themselves, and cut out the time loss that happens on account of a recruiter being an intermediary communicator. So at Peoplestrong, for large customers that we are servicing, we've used some of these technologies where a hiring manager is directly interfacing with the candidate. Both of them are collaborating on a technology platform, working out their schedules, eventually completing the interview through various means of video and other technologies available today. And once the feedback is registered, the process moves on. And the final piece really, which Mr. Modi in his 15th August speech also talked about, is probably the need to look at frontline hiring, which is a large volume of recruitment that organizations do in a different way. Traditionally, we have that belief of doing a face-to-face or a human intervention-based interview. Why can't we move away from an interview-based system, at least for the frontline hires, where you're really looking at somebody with about 6 months to 1 year of experience, 1.5 years of experience. Why do we need to invest 45 minutes to 1 hour of an interview time with a candidate who's barely an experienced guy? I mean, the difference between a fresher and an experienced guy is hardly anything. Somebody with about 6 months of experience is as good as a fresher to me. So why would we not move away from traditional interviewing methodologies and not use more of assessments and other technologies to screen the people for frontline jobs? I think these are some of 3-4 pointers, which we can quickly imbibe, and this, in my belief, will really help cut down the turnaround times that we experience as employers when we go out and recruit people.
Excellent point. I really would definitely include one of the points that he has said, during the end. But he mentioned about the assessment, and all of us know that in some of the mid-level or high-level positions that we hire, there is a lot of time that goes into assessment, because some of the large corporates or the large customers of ours would actually want a very well-assessed candidate, just to make sure that they don't really hire a wrong candidate in terms of either the skills or even the background and things like that. And I think that itself, in the entire recruitment life cycle, if you see, takes a lot of time. And I think that's where, the right from our day you open a position to the day you fill that position, the recruitment life cycle looks so lengthy because a lot of assessment time goes in the assessment. So I would like to, invite our next speaker, Vivek Khanna, to talk about how we can reduce this assessment period using the IT platform that we have.
Thank you. Thanks, Mehul. I represent a company called First Advantage. We are the world's largest background screening company. Just put in context, so what I'm going to talk about. So between the candidates and you, we come in between. We help you get the right candidates on the board by screening them in the right way and things like that. I'll tell you how technology has helped us in 5 to 6 areas and how we've reduced the cycle time or the turnaround time by at least 75%. When you look at a candidate, primarily you are sourcing your candidates from various universities, colleges, or from the rural areas. And when you do any kind of a checks on them, it goes over to them in a certain form or shape. Sometimes the snail mail will come, sometimes the courier service will come, and sometimes all the things will get corrected. What we have started working with the clients, we integrate ourselves with your recruitment systems, with your HR system, HRIS. And what happens with that is the candidate has a direct access. Today everyone can work on a mobile phone with the smartphones and whatever. So he or she has a direct access at his hometown, in his bedroom, in his whatever, in his house, and he starts uploading the documents from there. And that happens the moment you have interviewed the candidate. So before even you have given a proper just given an offer letter out, and you haven't given the proper kind of stuff, the person hasn't come in to your office, you start uploading the documents. The moment the documents are there, you don't have to worry about anything out there. All the documents are coming to you online. You can download, do archive, whatever kind of stuff at your end. We pick up those documents and start screening the people. And by the time the candidate comes on to you, on the day of joining, because he will have, let's say, 30 days to 90 days, depending on the joining time, you have a fully verified, fully clear candidate available to you. And now this takes, we say, let's say 30 days or 90 days. Now you can reduce it further. What we have done on the back end is when we are doing the screening part of it, we have created a lot of mobile apps. So what happens the moment the stuff comes to us, we throw it back to the service providers or our field associates in various parts of the country. So you name a smallest city in the country, we will have people over there who will do the verification. Now everything goes over a mobile app. He or she goes over there, verifies the university, verifies the address, verifies everything, and gives it back to us online. So if I look at January 2014, we used to take about 15 to 16 days to verify a case. Today, the whole thing is getting done in 7 days. It's a huge reduction in time. So even if you're looking at freshers, whom you're getting directly from like in the earlier panel talked about 60% of freshers at the moment, you can reduce your cycle time and your hiring time so quickly, and you have a verified candidate. Because with the speed, there's a big component of risk that comes into it. How you reduce the risk will define your shareholder value. So the moment you have a value attached to it, you need to balance your risk. And we help you balance that kind of risk. And we have seen it, we have done it, and we have been helping most of the people in the industry in doing so. Thank you.
So I think, these are some of the things that we talked about when we actually attack a requirement or how to really onboard these candidates. There are still, when we're talking about huge volumes, there are still a lot of operational challenges or time that would, a typical right HR would take, in really processing the whole life cycle. I think I would like to invite our next speaker, Sabu Thomas, to talk about some of the HR practices or how can that be an IT be an enabler in the operations and the HR side of it.
Good afternoon. You need to excuse me for my voice. I have much more beautiful voice, but the throat is not kind to me today. If you look at the industry, the business is looking at 3 types of speed. The speed number 1, the speed of employability. There are a lot of employment job is available, but the employable people are very less. And the second speed is speed of hiring, acquiring these people, whoever is employable. The third speed is the speed of productivity. If I hire somebody, I wanted to start building that person from the day 1. And can we create a person billable from the day 1? And chasing all these 3 speeds, technology plays a major role. I had an opportunity to evaluate more than a dozen products which were showcased in the NASCOM event, and go through the various features that they offer to us. At various stages of recruitment life cycle, there are many, at least 2 or 3 products available now. Beautiful products. I'm really fan of some of those products. If you look at the selection, the sourcing area, you wanted to hire somebody in 20 days time, 30 days time. There's a product called Hirey.com. So that product, I'm not a brand ambassador for any of these products, please. Which I have seen, that's why I'm just mentioning these names. They bring in people who are serving notice period. I do not know ethically this is correct or not, but there is a lot of demand, and a demand supply issue is making people to go and use this kind of things. They bring all the people who are serving notice period, so that they already resigned. You can hire them and get them joined very quickly. You have seen somebody was talking about the advertisement. Now newspaper advertisements are not seen. Much better products are available now online. Targeted advertisement, community portals, and if you look at the LinkedIn, offerings what they have, you can choose which segment of people should get these advertisements and shoot those advertisements which is highly customized. So the reach to the candidates is very high. When you look at the selection area, some point of time the selection was, you need to call the candidate, a manager, capable of interviewing or not capable of interviewing, will come and sit face to face and conduct interviews to understand the technical capability, and HR will do supposed to be doing the behavioral capability. Now you have various products available to check the technology capability of the individual. Hacker Rank, Hackathons, Hacker Earth, Code Gladiators. There are plenty of platforms which employees can, prospective candidates can go through and showcase their merits in terms of their technology capability. And the other big problem which the corporates were facing, that if I find a candidate in in some city which is far away from my office, I need to call him or her down, paying transportation charges and all those things. Now there's a product, video interviewing. You might have heard about a product called TalView. Very interesting product. So which enables video interviewing. It's not the real time or when you want to interview a candidate, but what candidates can do, if I'm a candidate, I go through one of these channels which are available online, I find a good job available, I immediately get into TalView and I can give the interview without having any representative from the organization there. I just give real-time interview and leave it there. And these interview pieces which recruiters collect from Get, it will help them to screen the candidates whom they wanted to call for next rounds of interviews. Excellent products in those areas. Now comes, that's all the selection, how we can look at, and when you look at the next level, post-offer management, that's a big nightmare for HR people like me. So we make offers and come to know that on the last day of joining, I'm there, I'm in the railway station, I'm just joining you, but we'll never join. And that situation is, highly prevalent. I'm not remembering the name of that product. There is a product which is built. Corporates can make all the offers to these products, and they will make only through these products. So they will know this candidate is taking how many offers from how many companies. So it's not easy for candidates to do that. One is that. The other product, how to engage people post-offer. If you look at the Trickle Mind kind of products, beautiful products. It's an e-learning kind of platform with very interactive features are available. You can do the induction during this notice period. You can teach about the organization, the culture. You can get the candidates ready to be, to be allotted to a particular project on the day one of joining. Excellent product, you can see. So if you look at the other services like in the employee referral, which will bring down a lot of cost, a product which you can remember about the Ripple Hire, which brings in gamification model. You can see in Mind-Tickle kind of products also a lot of gamification which will suit the current generation. And this employer referral products. So all these things are really helping to speed up the recruitment. May not be in terms of the exact number of days, that will definitely help. Second thing, making them productive much faster. That's very important. How we can get them built or get them engaged in development or whatever work they meant to do as quickly as possible. That's a big saving and big advantage for corporations. So the technology is definitely driving and adding value in the area of recruitment. Thank you.
Very well said. I think I would just quickly, in the essence of time, I would just quickly like to summarize this and open for some of the questions. But I think what we understand is with the faster recruitment life cycle, with the faster support, shared services and support functions, with these kind of innovative tools and the products, and with the inclusion of government, I think IT is becoming the biggest enabler, in increasing our productivity, in making it collaborative way of working, in reducing our costs, right, and also, keeping the confidentiality. So this is pretty much, the gist of the discussion that we had. I would just like to, draw your attention on two things, and leave you with the food of thought. One, one of the Harvard analysis that I read, it says that when you open a requirement, when you open your hiring position, some of you are HR managers and HR heads and hiring people, when you open your requirement, a position, and you delay it by 1 day, the productivity of your new hire, regardless of his competency, the productivity of your new hire is getting reduced by 1%. Imagine, you delay your hiring decision or your hiring process by 10 days, regardless of the competency of whom you hire, you are actually, reducing the productivity of the new guy by 10%. If I put it in a perspective of a company like Amazon, it would be like a $75,000 of a revenue reduced because we actually postponed or we delayed our hiring decision. Of course, that number is too big for everybody else, other companies, but I'm just putting it in a perspective. So there is one thing to think, one point to think where, it's extremely important in today's age where IT is enabling all of it to reduce our hiring time. That is one point I wanted to stress over here. And the second thing which I want to leave you guys with, think about it. Many of us are staffing companies out here. Think about it. All of us have recruiters in our company so that they can recruit. Where is the world moving? Thanks to IT, thanks to all these things that these guys talked about, where is IT moving? There will be no recruiters. Can you imagine your company having no recruiters in your company? And still you are a recruiting firm. Likely to happen. Think about it, because everything is becoming online. Shailesh talked about an app, candidates and hiring manager interacting. Where is the role of a recruiter? Everything is done online, assessment and everything. Where is the role of a recruiter? Right? We saw in the NCS portal, right job, right candidate. Where is the role of a recruiter? Still we will continue to run our staffing companies. Message for us in the staffing side, increase the pace of hiring so quickly before you get caught by this IT industry. If I draw a comparison of this IT industry, the pace at which it has grown with an automobile industry, let's say, if IT and automobile industry were to grow at the same pace, let's say, automobile industries, our cars would be actually flying. We would be actually not driving on the floor, on the ground. We would be flying and coming and attending this session today. Automobile industry has not grown that fast. We can't even imagine. IT, the emerging technologies, the disruptive technologies have actually come up so fast, it is actually going to touch every individual's lives. With each passing day, it is going to change the way we live. Trust me on this. So, message for all of us in our staffing side, use this technology, and some of us are going to use it. So those who are in the staffing business did not use it, delayed it, man, the competition is going to take over anyway. At the same time, beyond the point, people will be ruled out if these latest things are not adopted very, very quickly. I wanted to just leave you guys with that kind of a thought. Think about it. No recruiters required. Still, you run a staffing company. That's the point I wanted to. And I would invite some of the questions. I don't know how much time we have, Suchita, but how many questions? But yeah, I would like to invite any questions if anybody has for the panelists. Yadavji, please.
Sir, during lunchtime, please network and ask as many questions really to other panelists.
My question is to Mr. Srivastava. Sir, thank you so much, first of all, making ISF as a partner to MCS. My question are in three contexts. One, you said that even the people who are not educated could also be part of this. I would like to know how they are going to put the resume on this. Second, you said that 40,000 people are coming on the site every day. That is the supply side. How you are going to organize the job for, or putting the job on the site for this massive people which is coming 40,000 on this. Third, you also said that there will be counselor available, for the people who will come for the job or look for the career. How you are going to bring this counselor either through a video or when you will give the address. So there are three contexts I would like to know from. Thank you.
Thanks. I'll quickly respond to these questions. One is, yes, we are capturing the anxiety and the aspirations of youth by getting 45,000 at least without publicity every day. This anxiety, this aspiration has to be tapped by the industry, and we are looking forward for organizations like Indian Staffing Federation to get their members to start posting jobs. Once you start doing it, then some of this will get tapped. The other thing is counselors. Yes, counselors is an issue which we have just started the concept. We have about 500-600 counselors already registered on the portal. We have an elaborate plan for getting them trained and educated to deliver the services through the NCS platform. What we have done is, in the beginning, we have taken those counselors who have done some professional courses with the NCRT and other recognized things, and gradually, as the market grows, we'll get more counselors. They can deliver these services either from their own shops or to the career centers that are getting established. Through the employment exchanges, there's a whole network of people who are available who can deliver the services. The third part you were asking about illiterate people. Illiterate people, yes, it is a challenge, so we have a toll-free number, they can register on that. The other thing is they can also approach the 1 lakh plus common service centers which are available throughout the country. They can go to a cyber cafe. We are looking at aggregators to come on board to help us get this. It's not a question of registration. Where are they going to get cleared? If I'm going to get a laborer onto the portal, then I need to have a contractor who can recruit them and give them a job. So it's, first of all, creating the platform and then enabling it by getting all these aggregators and these agents on board so that the market gets leveled out.
Any more questions? Yes, please.
Hi. In fact, I had a question on the tech aspect of recruitment. So, I did hear the fact that we're trying to see that the amount of recruiters, recruitment time and all these can be decreased. But how close are we with big data in terms of saying that the matchmaking software or technology can replace a recruiter? Is it too early?
No, so let me answer this. Big data is a next wave, and I was just telling some of my friends yesterday, it's sitting on a time bomb, which is going to explode, in the name of big data. Today, we do not have as many talented people available, in big data. So yes, it is something for the industry to think how to generate this talent, how to upskill the current talent that is available in a bulk right now in the name of Java programmers. We got to really upskill them and make them as a big data and Hadoop developers. So I think once this big data and the talent is available, yes, absolutely, that will change and that will bring us very close to where you are talking about.
So to the second part of my question with that is big data in terms of if we have sufficient data points of the job description and sufficient data points of the skills available, and therefore the matchmaking can happen. So are we close to that yet?
Oh yes, absolutely. If I talk from the staffing standpoint, in the US it's already started. The moment a hiring manager has a particular requirement, exactly to his skills, the skill set that are required, without anybody talking, those resumes are going to them, which are exactly matching to his skills. Not only that, the big data is being applied. Next level is that now, since they know that these are the kind of positions this particular employer is hiring, automatically, the analysis goes and the big data will throw the entire hiring pattern to that particular employer, organization or the hiring manager, and actually would enable the hiring manager or the employer, to do exactly what he's looking for. It is already started? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll just add to what Mehul mentioned. I think it's not evolved to a stage where you can completely do away with the recruiter, but I can give you or probably share with you some real experiences of how we do it. So the technology that we've deployed doesn't actually tell you 100% fitment or rejections. But what it does is that in years, if a recruiter for a position was finding 5 profiles and actually was screening all 5, today what they do is that if any profiles at a match of 80% and above, I don't need to screen it. I can straight away show it to the hiring manager, right? If any profiles 30% and below on the match, I don't need to screen it. It's a reject. So from 5 profiles that I was screening till a couple of years back, now I'd probably only be screening 2 or 3 out of 5, which are really lying in that range of 30% to 80%. So still it gives me a huge productivity in terms of what my recruiter is spending his or her time on, right? Because I'm not making my recruiter screen all those 5 profiles and still getting the same or better result out of it. So it's in that direction, like Mehul said, but probably it'll take about 5-6 years for us to evolve to that stage.
Maybe lesser, IT
Just add to this. I was reading an article recently about this big data analytics that are available in the recruitment space. There are a lot of data is available. I mean, if you look at each one of us, we are on Twitter or blogs or LinkedIn, Facebook, and all these people are in various forums and a lot of data is available. Did we start analyzing the capabilities, skills and aspirations of the people and use that data for match fixing or the matching the individual with the job is not yet reached there. So you see the technology development happened last 2 years. 3 years back it was not there, the kind of products which are coming out. 2 years. I'm sure that next 1 year we will see that big data analytics coming up. A lot of products is coming up, getting released in that area. That's what I feel.
So in the essence of time, I would like to welcome the questions while having lunch, and while we are talking about lunch, nobody's getting up for lunch without giving a big round of applause to these wonderful speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mehul, and thank you so much, panelists. I think it has been an extraordinary session for sure and a very knowledgeable one for everyone that are here right now. May I request Asim, CEO GI Group India and board member ISF, to kindly share the mementos to our panelists.